Alright. Jermell, Charlo, Brian Castano fight. Great fight. That's the reason why boxing fans cry. I'm not even going to say cry. That's the reason why we crave big fights like that. And unification fights, should I say. Man, that was a great fight from start to finish. It was all action, everything. But we about to get right into this. I'm not going to do a round by round scorecard. I'm not going to tell y'all my scorecard or, by just analysis round by round. I'm going to just say straight up, I was cool with the draw. I was one of the few fans that was cool with the draw. But if it was a winner, it had to be Castano. There's no way that, that you can say Charlo won. And then the 117, 111. We ain't even got to talk about that. Everybody know that was bad. That's a Canelo type scorecard. So, and I like Canelo, but y'all, the judges. But, let's get right to it, man. It was a great fight, like I said. Charlo, I was really disappointed in him, though. All credit to Castano, because some of that, was him, too. But a lot of that, man, it was just Charlo, man. He wasn't listening to Derrick James. He was just giving up. He was just giving up the distance. A lot of the time, Castano didn't even have to work to get in. I'm not one of those casuals that didn't know Brian Castano or that wasn't familiar with who he fought. None of that. I know what he brought to the table, but I just thought Charlo was a little better. I still feel that way slightly. I think Charlo has more in his arsenal. But what Castano does good, he does really, really good. And I underestimated him, though. I underestimated him. He was ready to fight, man. He's a true warrior. He got a lot of heart. The way when he was getting hurt, he got hurt in the 2nd and the 10th? When it was visibly, and very, he was badly hurt. The ring IQ, man, the way he survived and just, he's good, man. He's really good. He was there for a reason. So all you fans that want to sit up there and try to bash Charlo on some, as if Castano wasn't a worthy opponent or credible opponent, he's top 3 at that weight class. If not top 2, if not number 1. We'll see. They got unfinished business, but he's a great fighter. He's a very good fighter. But Charlo, man, I was thrown off. It was typical Charlo the whole fight week from both brothers, the energy and everything. It was a typical Charlo fight week. It was great. And he came out first round, it was fill out round, second round, same thing, but then that's when he clipped him. But every time he hurt Castano, the way he was setting up his shots, it was just, I don't know, man. It was just wow. I'm no boxing expert. I'm just a fan looking at it, but it was just, he was so wild. Every time, it was no strategy in terms of him getting, that's why he didn't get him a back. I didn't write no, points down I want to touch on, so if I miss some stuff, I may just come back. It may be just thrown together, but the pressure from Castano, that when I said he's really good at, he's good at, what he's good at. He's really good at it, which is getting on the inside, his pressure. So some of that, again, I think was just Charlo not, doing what he should have been doing. But I'm at the same time, going to give some credit to Castano, man. He made Charlo very uncomfortable with the pressure. And I thought that he would have been able to deal with it. Just when you just look at first off, the tail of the tape, all of the advantages Charlo had, physical advantages. And then when we talking in the ring, man, he has a very good jab. He was moving some, but again, some parts of the fight, as soon as the round started, they would be posturing in the center of the ring, and then Charlo make his way back to the ropes without Castano even throwing a punch. I think it's very evident. You don't have to be a boxing expert to see that Brian Castano is really not that good on his back foot. And even if he was, I'm not even going to say he's not good on his back foot. He doesn't throw punches when he's going backwards. Even at the center of the ring, he barely throws punches. He only throws punches when he's coming forward. But how Charlo didn't pick up on some of his patterns, his punch patterns, and his tempo, it was shocking to me. So going back to the whole fight on the ropes thing, when a lot of the times I felt like he would just give up his height, talking about Charlo, that's a recipe for disaster, man. You being the taller fighter, you having that much of an advantage in terms of reach and height over Castano, and you just giving him, just opening the door for him to come in and fight you on the inside. Charlo is so much bigger than him. It's almost like 2 total different weight classes because the physical advantages are so glaring. And you have Charlo on the inside trying to throw these wide punches and everything. And it's like, no, man, that's not going to work when you fighting somebody that's an inside fighter who's shorter than you. And all his punches are real short and straight. And that's why anytime it was on Fight on the Inside, it was Castano's fight. When he was in the center of the ring, or Charlo was coming forward, when he finally listened to Derrick James, 10th, 11, and 12, because he told him he was down, he finally turned it up, and what happened? I think if Jermell would have kept the fight in the center of the ring, used his jab, and walked forward, I know it's easier said than done, but when he did it, he was very successful. When he didn't, he wasn't. It's that simple. When he was letting, like I say, when he was giving his height up, letting Castano in, it made it a very tough fight. But going back to the Castano fighting on his back foot, that's all he had to do. I think the game plan is very simple. But he wasn't as confident as Derrick James is for the rematch. His brother, anybody else, he's not as confident. Charlo, what Jermell is. So I'm not sure how the rematch will go. I'm very interested, though. We need to fight. You see all the fighters coming to Castano, not defense, but just giving him his credit, saying Canelo called him, FaceTime him. Terrence Crawford said, I love what Terrence Crawford said to Charlo. Now, I'm one that has Charlo on my pound for pound list, like 8, 9, or 10, just because he's cleaning out a good division. So he didn't get the last, task done to complete it, but he still can do that. But this definitely put a dent in it for me, though, because I thought that his ring IQ was higher than what it is. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Castano had his ring IQ showed a lot when he got hurt. Not just from moving around the ring and his movement, the way he was moving around the ring, but just him planting, throwing the big, overhand right or overhand left like McDonough, planting down and throwing that overhand right to keep Charlo up off of him. Like, I'm hurt, but I'm still, you better be careful coming in. So, he froze Charlo. He had froze him in his tracks a couple times, but still, I felt like it was no strategy in terms of him setting up his punches. Like, everything was just, just coming in, swinging once he had him hurt. Overall, it wasn't a robbery. Fans are so quick to scream robbery when it was a close, tough fight. How can you say robbery if it's a tough fight? Castano won, but he got hurt 3 times. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so it wasn't like he dominated Charlo or anything. Like I say, if anybody should have won, it should have been him. But I thought the draw was the perfect decision. But if anybody won that night, it was boxing fans. We're not gonna sit up here and keep talking about the fighters. Boxing fans, we won as fans that night because it was an undisputed fight. How often do we see undisputed fights? And it was a great fight. All action from 1 through 12. It was a great fight. So last points, they have to have a rematch. That's it. It's unfinished business. We have to see a rematch next. We should be seeing it in November, December, or October. We should be seeing it this year. We don't want to see Lubin. We don't want to see anybody else. They can wait until after this fight. We have to see this fight one more time this year. Nobody, no in-betweens, no nothing. We got to see it. Congrats to Jermell. Congrats to Brian. We just want to see y'all do it again, man. That was one of my favorite fights that I've seen live. Just because I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it the whole fight. So, yeah. But that's all I wanted to touch on in this video. Stay tuned for the next one. We got one more boxing on Tank coming out. Been real frustrated with how Leonard and Floyd moving Tank. So be on the lookout for that too. That's coming later today or maybe later this week. So, yeah. All of my boxing, NFL, and NBA fans, like, share, and subscribe, man. Keep coming back. I'm going to be dropping more content.